So without further ado, let's get our bells in place. We're going to do deadlifts first. Remember, it should be by the heels. Feet are parallel and a little wider than shoulder width. And the timer starts now. All right, so down by the heels every time. I'm really trying, my clientele skews older. So with that older clientele, my deadlifts, I want to focus more on that posterior chain. I also want to keep the backs safe. So that's why we are doing the deadlifts as we are doing them. This is my gym that I'm recording this in, Nyack Boot Camp. I have owned it for 13 years. Started it from scratch 13 years ago, and it grew to what it is now. And so that's our 45 seconds already. That was not too hard for me because this bell's a little light for me. Now we're going to go to two-handed swings. So get ready. In 3, 2, 1. So you see I'm bringing it chest height. I'm bringing it chest height, no higher, but no lower. Now you will see swings on the internet where the bell comes very high. That is an American swing that was created by CrossFit. It is not the original Russian kettlebell swing. I am more of a fan of the Russian swing, not only for safety, but because when you have to stop that bell chest height, you have to really engage your abs to do so. Believe it or not, a swing is a great ab exercise. And we're going to put it down. Now we've got figure eights coming up after this 15-second interval. So you should have watched the how-tos. Let's get that bell in place. Okay, throw it between the legs, up and around. Now, just so you know, when I started this work, when I was 43, I'm going to be 62 soon, I started with just a 12-pound bell, and I was dead. So where you are, and frankly, I got great results from it too. So wherever you are, it's fine. Just stay with it. You'll get stronger. All right, we're going to put it down. Then we've got those cleans, which I need to take off my watch. Just stay with it, and you will get stronger and stronger. Okay, so we're here. And notice, again, I lift with my whole body. We're going to alternate. I'm not just lifting with the arm. Whole body is involved, which makes that kettlebell circle around. Now, really important, this has to stay inside the shoulder. Don't wing it out. What do I mean by that? Okay, let me show you on this next one. Don't bring it here. It's going to stay in here. Okay? Got to keep the shoulder safe. The construction of that bell, the way the main weight is pretty far below the grip, means that, oh, I got something in my throat. Means that if you have it out here, it's going to pull on your shoulder too much. Okay, we're going to start again with our deadlifts. Oops. And let's go. You see, I'm trying as much as possible keep my shoulders up. Now, the whole issue is, I know I said I got great results with a 12-pound kettlebell, and I did. But as we get stronger, we do need to challenge ourselves more. Now, there'll come a point, honestly, where you won't need to move up in kettlebell size anymore. Because whatever that size is It will challenge you. I should have brought my water over here. Okay, we've got our two-handed swings coming up next. I'll get it at our 1 minute rest. In 3, 2, 1. And again, really focus at the top of this swing on contracting those abs. Really feel those abs contract at the top of that swing. And remember, swing is not a squat. It's a hip hinge. Very different. In fact, I think I'm going to change out one of these exercises in here so that we can do a combination of squats and swings so you can see and feel the difference. All right, let's bring that bell up in place for our figure eights. Another great ab exercise. This really targets the obliques. I actually transformed my abs using this exercise when I was able to move up to a bigger weight. Make sure you finish off the move with this. Lots of times people don't finish it off. You've got to come up. You got that tight gut, tight butt at the top of it. If you don't have that, you're not finishing off the move. Squeeze your butt cheeks. Contract your abs. All right. Now we've got dead cleans to finish our second time through this. Seems to be going by quickly for me. Hopefully for you too. Okay, let's get ready. And notice how I put it down by my heels every time. Right up here. And it's right along the body that I bring it up. Same deal with this too at the top of it. Tight gut, tight butt. It should be pulled up through your quads. Full body isometric contraction is what I'd like to see at the top of this. All right. 2 times through. We've got 1 more time through. I'm going to start with those deadlifts again. Right? Oh, yeah, this is 3 times through, yes. Okay. 3, 2, 1. You can tell by the way I'm chattering on that nothing in this, except for the exercises themselves, are planned. One thing I want to have you take a look at with yourselves as you're coming down, are the knees in alignment with the ankles? In other words, they shouldn't be bowed out like that, okay? They should be in alignment. Very common form break that I will see. All right, we've got those swings again. We're going to make this a swing and squat combination, just so I can show you that difference with the hip hinge and the squat. So here we've got a squat. Now we're going to have a swing, and let's catch it and go back into the squat. Swing it, squat, swing it, squat. I'm going to do that from the side. Got a squat. We got a swing. We've got a squat. We got a swing. You see how they're different. And that's that one. So you see that, squats way down, swing as a hip hinge. Yeah, there's some bend to the knees, but not the same amount as with a squat. We've got our figure eights coming up. Let's get that bell in place. Remember, bring it all the way up here. Every time I see people get confused and they stay down. No, you got to come up. You got to come up all the way. Every time it's got to go between the legs. Remember, hope you watch my instructional video on this. It goes to the outside. Ouch. It's going to come down and hit your knee. And we've just got dead cleans coming up to finish off this first round. And let's do this here. To get the kind of growth hormone surge and that rebound effect with cortisol, that it spikes but then it goes below baseline, you do need to have challenge to it, all right? It can't be super easy. It doesn't mean that every moment has to be a challenge, but you do need to feel challenged. Okay, we've got a 1 minute break. Then we're going to have tactical lunges. That's also the instructional videos. POWs, that's just an isometric lunge. And then hand-to-hand sumos, which is also in that instructional video. I'm going to get my water. I'll be right back. And I didn't bring it in with me. All right. Okay. I forgot my water in the car. But we do have emergency water here that is for clients that forget their water. So that's what I'm using. Okay, so I'm going to reset our timer because our minute is just about up. And we're going to do those tactical lunges. All right. This time, there are 3 exercises, so we go through 4 times. All right, and let's do this. So remember, whatever side that bell is in, that's the foot coming back into the lunge. And remember, that knee, the knee going back should be, I don't know, what is that, about 4 inches above the floor, no more. And you don't transfer weight when you do a lunge. The weight, a reverse lunge, the weight is kept in the heel of the front leg. All right, that's almost, that back leg is almost stabilizing. All right, so now we're going to take our right leg, so we'll remember, I always go right first, so I remember. Back into that POW, also known as an isometric lunge. So 2, 1, go, and this is all we're going to do. We're just going to hold it here. All right, now notice my back foot, straight ahead. Your foot should not be turned out. That is not going to be good for your ankle long term. So make sure you're not doing that. So we're just holding this. Isometrics are actually very effective and quite hard. So you will feel this by the end of this workout, or by the end of this round, I should say. And you can tell I really don't like them. But I do them because they're effective. Now we've got our hand-to-hand sumos. So these are, we think of those sumo wrestlers, feet are turned out, knees should be pressed toward the little toe, not caving in. And we want to keep the shoulders up as much as possible. So we're here. Okay, and see how far down that bell is going. Now it will depend a little bit on your flexibility, but this will help if you don't have good flexibility. Actually, this sort of training, now if you're someone that really likes to stretch, you should know you do that after the workout, all right? You don't do that before. Before, you just want to do that joint mobility work to prepare the joints for work. Stretching, major stretching anyhow, comes after. But all on its own, this type of work will increase your flexibility. Or I should say, give it back to you. I just had a client today who is probably one of the tightest people I have ever seen when he first came in. And I was remarking to him on how much his flexibility had increased over time, which he had agreed with. So lots of good things come from this particular type of work. And one of the things we do in our gym, so we're going to be holding that isometric lunge, left leg back coming up. One of the things we do in our gym is every workout is going to be different. How much time under pressure? How much time are we working compared to rest? What equipment are we using? What exercises are we using? What we're always trying to do is hit that full body, give that full body workout along with really strength training and increasing your heart rate at the same time, so that we're giving you that full body, but we're also challenging your body in a different way every time you come in. Because if you do the same workout all the time, your body is going to plateau. It's going to go, oh, I know this. And you're not going to have to work. But there's also just real benefits from finding different ways to work the same muscles. All right. We're going to turn our feet back out for those sumos again. And remember, we want to have the shoulders straight up, knees pressing toward the little toe, not caving in. I would suggest that people put on their favorite music when they're doing their workouts. Really helps fuel you, makes it more enjoyable. So here we are, back to our tactical lunges. So we've gone through twice. We just have 2 more times to go through. All right. And there we are. Now I will mention, I was a dancer in my youth. So I have to think about not crossing over the foot on those lunges every time. So as I tell people, right leg's going to go back into that isometric lunge. As I tell people all the time, do as I say, not as I do. I try to remember it. I've tried to correct my body in doing that, but I will say it's one of those things that if I don't think about it all the time, I will suddenly be crossing back, just too ingrained from my years as a ballerina. Almost there. And come on up. Shake out those legs. We got to do our sumos again. All right, let's pick up that bell. So let's see. Oh, I have one more time to do this. When we do this on our final time, I'm also just going to show you a dead sumo. Some of you won't be able to do it because that flexibility may prevent you from doing it properly. But some of you will be able to do it, and it's a really great exercise. So I'm going to show it to you. All right, so we're back for our final time with this. Tactical lunges again. And get ready. So we do in NIAC boot camp what I like to call personal training in a group setting. Having grown up as a classically trained ballerina, classical ballet, there's only one right way of doing everything. It's very precise. Most people don't know this. So I am a strong believer in form. My goal is, with every person that comes through our door, even if you don't stay with me, you move away, whatever, you're going to know proper form. Because as I said at the beginning of this, it's for safety, but it's for efficacy as well. If you want that exercise to really, you want to get the most out of it, proper form is essential. The other issue is when we're talking about weight, I mean, one of the reasons that I can actually lift very heavy weight for my size is because my form is so good, right? So oftentimes early on, a weight that is really maybe a little too small for someone will be very taxing for them because they haven't gotten their form properly yet. So, and come on up. And we're going to finish with those sumos. So how we work is we work in a little bit of an unusual way in that we only take a few new members a month. And the reason is, and we don't take any drop-ins, you join by the month. The reason we do that is because then in any given class, I maybe only have one or two people who haven't been with me for at least a month or longer. And I can spend the majority of my time focused on those new people, teaching them how to do everything properly. Then, once they're ready to be completely on their own, then I can bring in somebody new. But People ask me why I do it this way. Well, number one, the kind of work that I want to teach can only be done this way. You can't safely and effectively help people if you have a whole bunch of people coming into a class who don't know what they're doing. So that's number one. But number two, people in personal training, my experience is too much talking going on, not enough work going on. So I want you to get the most you can out of that hour. But number three, there's really something to be said for having a community of people that keep you accountable, that make your workout sessions fun and something you can look forward to. At least the social interaction, if you're not looking forward to the workout itself, which I get. Okay, so here we are at our third round. So we're going to do push-ups, chest presses. One time we're going to do push-ups. The other time we're going to do chest presses, okay? And the third time, I'm going to let you decide what you want to do that third time through. This one has 4 exercises. We've got that. We've got bicep curls, tricep extensions, and 2-handed overhead presses. All right, now once again, this first round we're going to do push-ups. You should have watched the video on how to do push-ups properly. If you haven't, stop. Go look at it now. All right, so I'm just going to put this to the side. I'm going to try to be at an angle you can see what I'm doing, as I will go over it a little bit. But this is primarily going to be from a full military position, okay? But I have on the how-to of what you do if you're from your knees. All right, and timer starts now. So I like my hands a little wider than shoulder width with fingertips slightly turned in. And I'm bringing my chest down to the floor, right? Not my pelvis. This is what I see a lot, all right? It's got to be the chest coming down. My elbows are about 45 degrees away from my body. Now, I have a reason for doing it exactly how I do it. Number one, again, my clientele skews older. The closer your hands are together, the harder that is on the shoulders. I don't want someone to blow a shoulder. The other reason I do it that way is, although I'm certainly getting some pec work, some tricep work here, that's not primarily what I'm thinking about with push-ups. I'm thinking about pecs. I'm thinking about some lats, some trap. Okay, remember, have that on this bicep curls. Hold it under the ball of the bell, okay? Because I have lots of other ways that I can work the triceps where I'm not putting undue pressure on the shoulders. Shoulders, very fragile. And I like to be very careful with my older clientele because, you know, somebody can be making a lot of progress. Then suddenly, injury. Then they're out. Then, if we're over the age of 35, the tricep extensions next. We're going to hook our thumbs to the horns like that. And we want to bring it all the way down. As you get over 35, one of your challenges is going to be that every time you take a break, you're going to lose muscle mass within 2 weeks, believe it or not. It's really annoying. As many of you know, I was recently in Paris. All combined from the time I left to the time I was back in my first class, was just under 2 weeks. We have a body composition analyzer here. And so I analyzed before I left and when I came back. I had 2-handed overhead presses next. I had lost 2.5 pounds of muscle mass in just that time. and I had gained almost the same amount in body fat. So I looked the same, but my body composition was not the same. And I could feel it anyhow. My first workout, I could feel it. I wasn't as strong. And being off, coming back is also something to be aware of. It can be a little bit of a challenge for many of us, because even for me, as long as I've been doing this and as conditioned as I am, when I came back my first 2 weeks, I didn't do a normal workout, or I should say, I did a normal workout, but not with the weight size that I would normally use, because the body's not there. The mind may be there, but the body has lost something. So we are back, or we're going to do chest presses this time. All right, so on our back, pinch those shoulder blades together. Bell is here, very secure, up and down. I like to think about the horn of that bell coming so it's almost directly overhead with the tip of my nose. Because when you have that bell, when you press it up and it's in the right position, you're going to feel work in your pecs. So I'm sure you're feeling it in your triceps as well. You're going to get a nice bang for your buck with this if you're doing it properly, and if you have the right size weight. Oftentimes people do have to go up in bell size for those chest presses. All right, we've got bicep curls coming up next. Let's get that bell in place. And again, you've got to hold it under the ball of the bell with these bicep curls. You can't hold it by the horns. The horns, holding it by the horns changes the distribution of that weight, and you're going to end up working your forearms, all right? And remember, no rocking of the shoulders, okay? You start doing this, you're wasting your time, all right? So keep the shoulders back. Crush that bell between the heels of your palms. Almost there. And we've got tricep extensions. Now you'll see that I am using the same bell for everything. I don't normally do that. This is normally a lighter bell for me. So I do usually use it for tricep extensions. But I've been doing this for years. Most of my clients, my female clients, do not use this size bell for tricep extensions, and you don't have to. You can use a lighter bell for these. It's just for simplicity for me to use the same bell in this case. In classes, I started using it because sometimes it was the only bell, this or maybe even heavier, was all that was left. So when you're the instructor, you got to take what's left over. You got to make sure that your clients have what they need first and foremost. Okay, and we're going to have those two-handed overhead presses again. And let's bring that bell up in place. And you'll see, ending it right by the backs of the ears, keeping those shoulders safe. One thing I like to do with clients periodically is when you're coming down, come down very slowly. Ooh, you're going to feel that very differently than if you come down quickly, okay? So you can play with these things a little bit. Coming down slow and up fast. Slow. All right, so I'm going to do, you can do push-ups or chest presses in this last time through. I'm going to do chest presses because I just did push-ups in my workout yesterday. So I do like doing chest presses as well. All right, let's get in place. Pinch those shoulder blades together. All right, coming on up for those bicep curls. I'm sweating heavily. And bring that bell up in place. You know, one of the things that I see with women, especially of my age range, thinking they're China dolls too much, thinking they're so fragile. And what I say to that is, life isn't made for you being fragile. It's not made just walk into the world, but it's not made for you getting older. People say, I don't want to move too quickly. Well, you know what? Some of the moves we're doing here, they are explosive moves. They need to be explosive because one of the things that you need as you get older is power. Yes, you need strength. You need balance. You need cardiovascular health. But the other thing you need is power, explosive strength. Explosive strength is what gets you out of your chair, okay, as you get older. Explosive strength, that's the kind of strength that keeps you autonomous, that keeps you in your own home. So, women, I can't tell you enough. Stop, please, stop thinking of yourself as a little fragile doll. Start thinking of yourself as powerful. And yeah, maybe you're not there yet, but you're going to claim it. You're going to claim that power that is within you because it's within all of us. You're going to claim it. And let me tell you something. It's going to change how you move through the world. I was just asking another client of ours who's older than I am, who's also been with us, been training with us for years. She's very strong. I said to her, do you feel invisible walking through the world? She said, no, I do not. And you know why? Because she's strong. Because honestly, when you're strong, you feel like I deserve to take up this space. You enter a room differently. You enter the room with power. So I am just going to encourage you. Find your power. Develop your power. It's never too late for that. All right. That is round 3 that's done. We're going to go to our round 4, which is all on the floor. Now, I will be honest with you. I think floor exercises for abs are probably the least effective way. And I say this from experience. I had a lot of surgeries as a child where they cut into my abdominal wall for a birth defect. Even as a dancer, my whole life, I had a little rounded belly. Very hard for me to develop a flat belly until I started this. Swings, figure eights are 2 of your best friends. All right, so we're going to start with bicycles. I will talk you through this. Okay, so, oops, I forgot something. Sorry. Different timer on this. This is not 45. It's just 30 seconds each. 3 times through, no rest in between. Okay, sorry about that. 3, 2, 1, go. So now, how I like my bicycles, right? We want to get that rotation. We want to think about pulling the belly button into the spine, but I want a straight leg. Straight leg. I'd rather do it slow and get that leg all the way straight, really feel that extension, than to be doing this. If you play with it right now and feel the difference, when you get that straight leg, you can pull the belly button into the spine where it should be. Whoops, we got reverse crunches now. Feet are flexed. Bring it up. Now go slow, 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 bringing those heels down to the floor. Bring it up. Slow, 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 slow. Bring the heels down. If you need to, you can put your hands under your hips. Some people need that. The feet should be a little ways from the butt. If they're too close to the butt, you won't hit those lower abs like I would like you to. Going back to the bicycles, when you have, oops, I guess I can't. We're going to do V-ups now. So feet are together, hands are together. Then we come up into a V. This is another one. If you need to, put your hands under your butt. I'm also going to give you an alternative. If you can't do that, do these, okay? Those are leg grabs. So, but if you can do the V-ups, you'll do the V-ups. Now, hint for you here. The straighter the legs are, the more you're going to work abs. All right, now we're going to roll over into a plank. We can do, I think I'm going to do a high plank this time, and then I'll do a low plank the next time. Now, you want to be sure you're not sinking, right? We want a supported midsection. I like to have the head up, not down, okay? Believe it or not, head position even makes a difference with your planks. And after this, we're going back to those bicycles. All right, we're going to do this 3 times through. Okay, so hopefully I'm in a position you can see me. So what I was saying about the bicycles before, when you straighten that leg, and it should be about 4 to 6 inches off the floor, not higher. When you straighten it, you can pull that belly button to the spot. If you have a bent leg and you're just doing that, play with that. You'll feel you push your abs out. You do not want your abs pushed out when you're doing ab work. Okay, reverse crunches, slow, 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 coming down. Bring it up. Slow, 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 coming down. Come up. Slow, 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 slow. And we've got those, well, we'll do leg grabs this time for anybody that can't do the V-ups. Let's just do them the whole time. Okay, now what I like to do when I'm doing these is I keep my face full to the ceiling because I don't want you thinking about leading with the chin like that. You're going to strain your neck that way. Just here is fine. And we've got our planks, right? Yeah. We're already, so I'm going to do low planks this time. On my forearms, hopefully you can see me. On my forearms, I'm pressing into the floor as hard as I can with my forearms and with my feet. I like to pretend I'm trying to keep the floor down. Notice my hands are not in that prayer position. My forearms are parallel to one another. Press, 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 press into the floor as hard as you can, as hard as you can. You're going to get a much better, going to get more work doing it that way. I hope you could see me. Okay, bicycles again, last time. And reverse crunches. The reverse crunches, I really want you to be feeling it in those lower abs. Hopefully that is where you're feeling it. We will go back to V-ups this time after when the timer goes. But if you can't do those and need to do leg grabs, you'll do those. So I was saying before, on these V-ups, the straighter your legs are, the more controlled it is, the more you're going to work abs. The more bent the knee is, you're going to be hitting some psoas there. So as much as you can, try to have a nice straight leg. And we'll get our planks. I think I'm going to do some high planks again this time. With your high planks, you will get a little bit of shoulder in there. So at the end of your workout, doing a high plank, you might see I'm shaking a little bit. So that's your main workout. Now we're going to do a little bonus round here, if you want to do it. All right. So our bonus round is burpees. We're going to just do 2 times through. It's going to be 45 seconds of burpees with 15 seconds of rest. Let me just go over before we go to this. So I'm going to do full burpees and I'm going to have a push-up with them. You may not want to do that, and you don't have to do that, okay? So you can do the thrust out, jump back in and up. Or if you can't step out, and especially if you can't step out with keeping this supported, then you want to do step, 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 step. In other words, so let me start from the easiest to the hardest, okay? So easiest, we come down, step, 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 jump, or if you can't jump, you just come up to your toes. Next, hands down, thrust out. But again, you got to support the midsection. You can't let it sink like that. Okay, here, we jump back in. Again, we jump or just come to our toes. Third, hardest way, put our hands down. We go down into a push-up and we come back up. All right? So that's what I'm going to do. But you do the version that works for you. Okay? And this is a bonus round. And timer starts now. Whoops, I may be cutting this short. I think my teacher is coming in to teach her workout. So if you want to go through again, you can, but I hear she's coming in the door to start her class. Okay, so that's all for this time.